Good morning. Well, it's almost, I guess, almost noon here. Maybe it is afternoon. I lose track of time sometimes. I wanted to make a quick video here about pushing through. I hear this phrase used consistently with things, and there's definitely a time to be said for when you have to push through and actually make something happen. And then there's a time where it's actually better to maybe not push through. So, for some reason, we live in this culture that is so based around getting through the work week and living for Friday night, dreading Sunday night or Monday morning. And what ends up happening is a lot of times we make these to-do lists that aren't necessarily aligned with our goals. And when they're not aligned with our goals, it feels like we're pushing through to get everything accomplished, and we feel so busy and we are working so hard at doing all these things, but these things are not really actually relevant to who we are. And if you think about this as a cellular level, at a very cellular level of who we are and what we are, right? We are billions of cells. Like, that's what creates this body, is this community of a billions, 20, I think it's 20, 30 billion cells that create any given body, right? And on a cell, from a cellular level, this cell, just imagine this circle here is a cell. There's only three things that a cell will do. A cell will either stay where it is, or it will move towards something, or away from something. So let's say, okay, it's going to either move towards something, or away from something, or it stays where it is. And it actually moves based on a feeling that it gets. It has its sensory. This is something that I like and I want more of. This is nourishment. This is good for me. Or this is something that doesn't feel good for me. It's damaging my cellular wall. It's not what I need inside my cell. And at the cellular level, we actually do this. Like, our cells know to not push through to things that don't create growth. But we've got this brilliant consciousness, right? And this brilliant mind, and we have all these thoughts in our head. And we get confused very easily between when we're pushing through something to get to the other side, that it's actually going to have like this amazing effect on our life. Whereas a lot of times we're pushing through to something that doesn't even get to what our goal is. We aimlessly push through because we wrote it down, it's on our to-do list. We aimlessly push through because that is the job at hand, the task at hand. And that's like crazy, but we all do it. Like, I'm 100% guilty of it as well. So when you find yourself pushing through to get to the end of the week, then you're probably not actually growing. And it might happen every once in a while, but consistently, you want to be growing in a way that actually fulfills you. So pushing through is good if it aligns with your goal, with your purpose. Pushing through just to get through the week is actually moving you farther away from what you want. You actually are pushing, like a cell, you're pushing away from your goal. If your goal is up here, you're pushing away from it. Every time you do something that doesn't serve you, you're actually moving away from what you actually really want. Now, if we think about that on a fundamental level, on a cellular level, this can explain all kinds of physiological problems that we have, right? All the disease that we experience, because we're forcing ourselves to go through a stress that actually does not cause growth. It doesn't feel good to go through. So the difference, the real quick way you can tell the difference is if you have a set goal and you can clearly see that by doing X, it's going to bring you to that goal. And it might be some struggle because you're not used to, say, public speaking or going out and meeting new people or doing the research to get the information, right? That's all stuff that aligns with your goal, but it should actually be a little bit of play. You should be excited about learning. You should be excited about tinkering with it. It doesn't matter if you're trying to fix a lawnmower. If you're working on this thing, the fact that you're like learning how the engine works or how the belts work or the wheels turn or whatever it might be, like, it could be something that simple, but it can be playful and it can be fun. It can be when you clean your kitchen or reorganize things. It can be anything that you do. If you're having fun doing it, that's like a positive growth. If you're struggling and consistently struggling and feel like you can't get through to the other side, then that usually means that you're not aligned with the goal that you want. Because if you struggle, this was actually just said to me by Bob Proctor just earlier this week. And if you don't watch Bob Proctor, definitely check out his YouTube videos. This guy is brilliant. I'm in part of his inner circle and get to be on a conference call with him every other week. And he gives me a lot of guidance. And he made a really clear observation. He said, if you struggle to get things, you're probably going to struggle to keep them. And when you think about it that fundamentally, if it's not fun, I forgot how to play. I forgot how to play. I really just forgot how to just have fun doing things. I got so focused in learning all this stuff and belief hacking and bringing up my vibration and really improving so many aspects of my life. And on a fundamental scale, I can see every one of them where so many great things have come to my life that have gotten so much better. Yet my level of excitement and satisfaction doesn't reflect the amount of change I've actually undergone over the last year. And this happens for so many of us. So always think about the play component. Are you really enjoying what you're doing? Because if you're enjoying what you're doing, you're going to have this natural growth and you're going to be able to create a life revolved around what you want and what has meaning to you. And it feels so much better when you do that. And some of you definitely know this, and some of you know it and don't do it, and some of you don't do it, don't even think about it. Keep this stuff in the forefront of your mind, because it's okay to have moments of struggle where it's like, whoa, this is not fun. This is a little more than I could chew, and that's okay. But it should be aligned with what you ultimately want to accomplish. And if you can reframe it and knowing that it's going to bring you closer to your goal, it can be fun. It can be playful, like we were when we were children. We didn't overthink these things. It got conditioned into us that we need to be serious, we need to be quiet, we need to behave, we need to take orders, we need to go to school, we need to get a job, we need to have a bigger house, we need to have more cars or a nicer car, or we need to have whatever it is. It gets conditioned and actually beat into us as children. Well, let's remember how to be children, and let's remember how to have fun and enjoy our lives and feel empowered and feel like we can learn. We can be awful at something, and that's still okay, because we're going to learn, and that's going to be empowering to learn this new thing that we have to do. And somebody else may be great at it, but that's just an example of inspiration for us rather than I've got such a long path to go. So make sure that you're not struggling to get through the week, because if you're struggling to get through the week, then you might want to cross out some of those things on your to-do list and give them to somebody else. Just transfer them to somebody else. They may not be as important as you think they are. And if you realign those goals with who you really are and the things you really want and do this consistently, you can actually really enjoy every single moment. And it takes a lot of energy to change into this path, because we've been trained to follow this fundamental routine way of doing that. It takes a lot of hard work and a lot of money and a lot of whatever else, all these things that are not inside of us. We have to have all the right circumstances for everything to work out for us. That's not true. We have to have it inside of us. And when we have it inside of us, then we can actually recognize those circumstances outside of us. But at the end of the day, it all comes back to, is this growth for me, or am I struggling? Am I struggling to do this, and is it actually causing injury? It's like doing the wrong exercise at the gym versus doing the exercise in a perfect format to actually get the effect that you want. Same exact thing. There's so many different parallels. You could compare it to a recipe, right? If you want to make a souffle, you need different ingredients than if you want to make a smoothie, right? And it's going to be a struggle to make a souffle with only the ingredients of a smoothie. And that's what we end up trying to do, is try to create something that we're not really meant to create with the things we have in hand, because it's not aligned with us. It's not with who we are. So think about this. If you're not enjoying it, why are you doing it? You got a promise from somebody else that you promised them you're going to do it? You have some obligation to do it? If you don't have problem just paying your bills and a problem spending money, you can always cut back. You can always get a smaller car or smaller house, or be a little smarter with your money. We all can be. We have great problems. If you're watching this video and you have internet, you have freaking amazing problems. So you actually have the choice. You have the choice to direct your thoughts and your energy and your time wherever you want it. So just, if you're not enjoying it, either find a way to reframe it and see if it's aligned with your goals, or just don't do it. And it's time to make that shift and make that shift happen sooner than later. Otherwise, you end up farther removed from your goal. So don't forget, if it feels good, you're moving closer to your goal with what's good for you, right? If it feels good, just like on your cellular level, you would move towards nourishment and move away from things that bring you down. Don't get caught up in them. A lot of times we get caught up and we'll just push through and we'll just, this person's going to change their mind and I'm going to get even, or whatever voice goes through your head, right? So, and I try to throw so many out there because we all get them bombarding us, right? Situations can take control, and things in media and things in TV and things in our relationships, we let them override who we are. And they take control of us. We get this emotion going. But realize as soon as you start feeling that, like this doesn't feel good, maybe it's time to just get up and walk away. You can always excuse yourself to go to the bathroom or take a phone call or go clean the kitchen. I had to do it last night when somebody was talking about something I didn't want to hear, and just politely I just got up and I was at a friend's house and I'm like, you want me to clean your bathroom? I'd rather do that than have the conversation. So realize it's always in your power to make the move and make the decision where your thoughts are going to be focused. And if it doesn't feel good, if it feels good, move more towards it. If it feels bad, move away from it. And you'll start to see that fundamentally you're going to have more fun and you're going to be enjoying yourself. And that's true success, right? Is being able to enjoy your life, enjoy the people around you, enjoy the lives around you, create value for people, give life to other people. What are the truth? Tell me, what do you think the true things of success are? What makes you feel good? I would love to have you guys commenting on this stuff and giving me some feedback, because at the end of the day, this is an amazing ride. We're on this giant spaceship moving through space and allowing us to navigate and drive these meat bodies and do all kinds of creative, amazing things. And for some reason, we choose to do things that aren't as much fun as other things. Like, why? Why? Just ask yourself, why? So I would love it. Anybody watches the video, please comment. Give me some feedback. Why do we do things that we don't like to do, and why do we spend so much time struggling? Why do we, hustling is a lot different than struggling. Working hard doesn't have to mean working in difficult circumstances or not enjoying your work, because you'll have energy. You'll have a lot more energy when you feel things are nourishing you, right? So give me some feedback. I would love to hear what you guys think, and it'll give me some more content for upcoming videos. Really appreciate you tuning in, and have an amazing day, and I'll be back tomorrow with something else. Cheers.